Okay. So three characters. First character is the paddle. The paddle basically moves left and right only. And in order to make it move left and right, we only need to move it with the mouse. We don't want left and right keys to be moving the paddle. We already know how to move left and right using the keys. We did that in the maze game. So when we wanted to move right, we pressed the right button and it changed the X position of your character and it moved towards the right side, and similarly it moved towards the left side also. Today we are going to see that how can we move characters with our mouse. Next is the ball. It moves in a straight line. It's in your game window. It's going to always move in a straight line. And it's going to reflect back when it touches the edge. And it is going to reflect back when it touches the paddle. Last is the line. The line needs to be at the bottom of the screen, end of the screen. If somehow your ball touches the line, which is at the bottom, you're going to lose this game. So that is what we need. Okay. So first we will start with the ball. Also, we need the backgrounds and all. How to start this game with a start screen. We will discuss that tomorrow. But today we are going to just figure out how the game is actually going to work. So we would say that create a new file here. Select a suitable background for the game. So you can go to backdrops and select a backdrop that suits you. You can have this any backdrop that you want. I'm going to use this one. Neon tunnel. And there is no particular reason that I'm using it. I am just using it because uh, it's kind of something that we can have on the background. Otherwise, there is no kind of, you can say, specific reason why am I using this backdrop. Okay, next is now we need to figure out our characters. So as I told you that the first character would be the ball. So you should delete the cat and choose a new sprite. Choose a ball for that. You can choose any ball that you want. You can use baseball, you can use basketball, you can use this simple ball, you can use this round button also, you can use this beach ball as well. So it's up to you that which ball character do you want to use. So let's say that we start with this simple ball character. Now this ball character has a lot of its costumes. So you can figure out which one do you want to use on this one. This kind of looks pretty visible. Others, they are not as visible as the first one. So that is why I would use the first one. And I don't need the other one, so I can delete them if I want. So I'm just going to use this one. This is the ball. Its size kind of looks a little bigger. So why don't we make it a little small? We can change the size of our objects in the looks portion. So set size to and see what happens if I do it 80 times. Kind of a little bigger right now. 70. Yeah, that's a good size. That's a appropriate size. But let's say we make it a little more smaller. Yeah, that's fine. So now we have a ball and we have set its size to 60. The benefit of using pre-made, you can say, characters is that they are kind of always in the middle of your screen. See, yesterday I told you guys that how and why you need to put your character in the middle of the screen. So these characters that you would pick up from the library are always in the middle, which is kind of a good thing for your characters. They should be in the middle. So now if you put them on 0, 0, you would see that they actually come in the middle. But you can place them wherever you want them to be when you let's say start the game. And now we need to add behaviors for this character. So we can tell that through code. We want this ball to be always moving on screen. So we would say move 10 steps and do it forever. So this way you would see that your ball would always move on screen, but it would always move in a straight line. Fine. That's good. Okay. So let's check that once again. This way, the ball would never stop on screen. It would keep on moving. If I place it here, you see that it keeps on moving. Now we want the next thing. So our first portion is done. That is, ball moves in a straight line. Next is that ball should reflect back when it touches the edge. So for this one, we have a simple code block here, a ready-made code block. So what you can do is go to motions and pick up that ready-made block that says if on edge bounce. If you attach this one here, you would see the difference. Now when it touches the edge, it comes back in the play, right? But can you identify what the problem is with this ball? Zayan, Qasim, Ziam, do you think that you would be able to play
Problem is
game
that
with this
it's
ball?
simply moving with this. It's continuously moving in a line. It's not changing its position.
Do you think that you would be able to play the game if the ball keeps moving like that?
No.
So that is why you would want your ball to point in a certain direction when it starts, that is downwards. So you can pick up which direction your ball would go if you want to make your ball move downwards. So these two, this one and this one, makes your this whole circle from this point till this point makes your ball move downwards. So let's say you use this one and attach it here. Now start. Now you can see that the ball is now moving randomly everywhere on your screen. Fine. Now, when this is done, we need to now bring out the other character. The other character is going to be the paddle. So currently this character is kind of working fine, or you have a ball which is moving in like directions that you want it to move into. Yes, Zayan, you want to ask something?
Yes, it's that I can't change the size of my ball. Here in the size, it has just become blank. The size has just become blank, and whatever I type, it doesn't come here. And also here, it isn't working.
Can you share your screen?
I can't. I'm on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
See, it doesn't type the size.
Does it say set size to? But you can't type it in there.
Yes, it's not typing. Yes, also here it's not typing.
Is it typing somewhere else? Can you try that in the point in direction or somewhere? That's also not working there also.
Direction, it's working. Only the size can't work. Only the size isn't typing anything. It's just got blank.
What is the color of this set size to block?
Purple.
Purple. Okay. Can you just delete and try to put a new one in?
Okay.
Set size to, and then
Yes,
try
it
adding
says
60% in that.
it doesn't type it. When I backspace it, then it doesn't type.
You're trying to type from the keyboard.
Yes.
There are two number buttons in the keyboard. If one of those is not working, you can try from the second one also.
No, none of the buttons is working on it.
Okay, try saving it and reopening that project once again. Maybe that would resolve the issue. Qasim, is everything fine at your end?
Now also it isn't typing.
नहीं आ रहा है मैं आपको ना उधर जाके ऐसे बेल कर दूंगी तो आप फीस गार्डन आ जाना पहले ही मैं उसको वो कर दूंगी टाइम निकल के उधर फीस गार्डन के सामने उस तरफ आ जाना
Zayan, has that issue resolved now?
No, still it doesn't type anywhere. Doesn't
Okay.
work.
Can you try changing the size here? Here.
No, also here it is not typing. I tried.
It is not letting you to type anything
No.
in the size section, wherever the size sections are, right?
Yes, and wherever there is size, it doesn't let me type anything.
Okay, if you go to looks, you will get this change size by 10 block.
Yes, this one.
Try changing it to -10. If it doesn't work even here as well, I'm not sure that how you're going to do it.
Here also it's not working.
So how are you going to go about it if it is not working? I don't know.
I don't know.
Can you just turn your camera towards the computer?
Yes.
Okay. The last thing that you can do is go to its costumes, the ball's costumes, and
Yes.
just manually decrease the size here. Click on this ball. From the edges, try to reduce its size and put it in the middle.
Yes. Now
Now
I
this,
can do it.
this has gone very small. You can just make it a little bigger. Once you would leave it, you will find that result the other side.
Yes.
Just don't forget to put this in the middle. Okay, fine. So now do you try and see that how does your ball move? Click on that code which makes the ball move and you would get to know it.
Yes, it's bouncing.
Okay. Okay, so next thing that you do after this is that bring in the paddle now. So the paddle is going to be an object again, and it's going to be there in the sprites. So you will go to sprites and you can look for the paddle. Paddle starts with P, so you can write PADD, and you will find this sort of a object. Just try to put it somewhere here at the bottom. And now what you can do is try to figure out how you would move your paddle. So in order to move the paddle, as I told you, there are different ways that you can do it. The first one was that you can do it by using the arrow keys, and you already know that you can use if block for that. But today we are not going to use it. We are actually going to use a different method, and that is how to control it with the mouse. So you would always want your character to be where your mouse is and only change its position on left to right, because you can move your mouse up and down also, but you don't want your character to go up and down. So what you are going to do is go to the control blocks, bring out this forever block, and then put this set x2 block here. Now this says forever set x2 minus 173. If that is working, wherever you would take it, it is always going to come back somewhere in the middle, or wherever you're going to take it, it's always going to come back here on minus 173. Even if you put it here, it's not going to come on the bottom, but it's going to go to minus 173. So now you want this value instead of having this as minus 173, you want this to be the same value where your mouse is. So for that, you're going to go to sensing and just put this mouse X, oval shaped mouse X is written. You can put this in the middle of this empty area. So now you can see that wherever you take your mouse, your paddle is going to follow. Okay. And you can actually set your paddle's position where you want it to be. For example, I would want it to be in the middle somewhere. So maybe this is a good position for it. It says x0 and y minus 139. I would want to make it a little lower. So maybe minus 150 would be better for me. So x0 minus 150. So you would say go to x0 and y minus 150. This way, your character would be at a good position in the bottom. So now if you check the ball to code once again, so now this ball is moving and this mouse cursor is moving. Only problem that you have now is that how to make this ball reflect back when it touches the paddle, right? Otherwise, a lot of things are kind of working fine. Now, let's figure out that how do we make our ball reflect back when it touches the paddle. So we are going to bring up an if condition here, and that if condition would be for the ball. So you would tell the ball that if this ball touches this paddle, this ball should turn back or this ball should reflect back. Okay. So you would say that if is kind of here in the controls. So you would say if and then go to sensing and say touching. If touching paddle, what should happen? Your ball should turn back, and for that you can use this turn command, which would make your character turn backwards. Also, there is this set rotation style that you can attach with that and just attach it here. And now let's see what happens. Put this in the forever block and see how does it operate. Actually, you need to run the paddle code also. So now you would see that when ball touches the paddle, it goes back. But there is a glitch in that. So in order to remove that glitch, we are going to use this set rotation style and put it left, right. Actually, it's turning 15 degrees. That's the problem. We need to make it turn at least 90 degrees. So now let's see what happens. Now it's working fine. Touches that, goes back in the air. And if you make it, let's say 180 degrees, that is what is going to happen. So if your ball touches this paddle, it goes back in the air, something like that, which is kind of fine. Now let's try to make your ball a little faster. See the speed of the ball when it starts moving and see what happens if you increase the number of steps. So when you add these number of steps to be, let's say 20, the ball is kind of moving pretty fast, right? So if you adjust it to some number like 15 or something, you can adjust a good sort of speed for your ball. And now you can play your game very easily. It's kind of getting difficult if you speed up the ball. Fine, fine by us. Okay, so now your balls, like games, 20 to 30% work is almost done. You have the logics in place. Now you just need one last logic, and that one last logic is that you need to introduce a line here so that when ball touches the line, it stops. Okay, so you are going to bring in a new character, and that character's name is line. You can type it here to search it. And this is the line character that we are talking about. Just put it here at the bottom. Be very careful while you are putting it. Your cursor should be inside the window. And once it has been placed here, now you can program your ball and tell it that if it touches the line, it should stop. So this is what is going to happen. If your ball touches the line, the game is going to stop. So currently, like many of your logics are in place instead of turning back. Okay, now you need to tell that if your ball has stopped, how does it go back in the air, or how does it go back when you press the flag button or when you start the game? Currently, you would see that this ball is not going to move until and unless it leaves the line, which is not happening. So we need to make sure that our ball manually goes on the top, and it can go on the top if we use a go to block. The go to block says go to this X position and this Y position. We can make these positions random. I want this character to be somewhere here on the top. So let's say its Y position here is 160. So I will make it 160. And I want this X position to be random. It can be anywhere on this line, this whole line. Okay. So for that, what I need to do is I need to set X position to random. So we can set this X position to random by telling our program to select an operator which says pick random. So if it picks a random value in which X is equal to minus 200 to 200, you would say that this ball goes on a different position every time you want to start this game. So this would make your ball go anywhere that you want, just like that. And then similarly, you can change its point in direction also. So instead of having a fixed point in direction, you can also say that pick a random point in direction. And that value can be from minus 135 to 135. This way, you would see that your ball starts moving in a different direction always whenever this game starts. Sometimes it goes right, sometimes it goes left. There is a more chance that a game is going to be working random. Okay. So we are going to save it till this point, and from tomorrow we are going to continue from here. If there is any question that you want to ask, anything that you guys want to ask right now?